Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching from different time zones or in our replay later on, good morning or good evening. My name is Mary Lynn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS. And we are passionate about helping leaders and organizations who are continuous learners and action takers to transform and thrive in all aspects by co-creating customized program without the help of our world-class resources. We have served over 3,000 leaders from over 30 countries in different industries, and that includes Petronas, Sony Mobile, PruLife UK, Ayala Group, Chevron, Tencent, Jollibee Foods Corporation, and Shell, to name a few. Experts say that the pandemic will last for the next 3 to 5 years. And this is why we are organizing several interventions, including this interview, to help leaders who don't know how to stay relevant and adapt in the next normal, those who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a remote team, and for those who are afraid that they can't keep your team or your business going, right? So to be able to stay relevant and continue to lead effectively in any situation, feel free to join us in any interventions that we organize. And for today, it's my great pleasure to introduce our leader. Julien Waksman is a leadership mental fitness coach. He helps restless achievers to be really present with their loved ones and stop feeling stressed by failures. He has 18 years of experience at Nestlé in procurement and supply chain functions, and a bad mountain accident 3 years ago has left him disabled with one paralyzed arm and strong pains. This accident also triggered a deep questioning about his identity, purpose, and a career that shifts towards coaching. He has adopted a powerful method developed by Stanford lecturer and former CEO of the biggest coaching school named Shirzad Sharmain. Sorry, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Shamain, I think. This method goes to the root factors influencing performance, relationships, and well being. Julien offers a 6 weeks program to rewire your brain and access your untapped superpowers. Without so much further ado, I'd like to bring in Julien. Hi, Julien.
Hi, really nice to be with you.
Yes, I'm glad to see you and have you here today. And like the usual, I would just ask you 8 questions, in fact. And the first 3 questions would be more towards us understanding from which perspective are you coming from, and then the
Mhm.
4 to 6 questions is mostly around I would say the juicy or meaty part of the conversation, and the last two will be my Miss Universe questions for you. So so to start with, I just wanted to find out, or
I
I'd
should
like
I should brush my hair for the Miss Universe question.
yes. So I we just wanted to understand. I mean, I wanted to the audience to understand from you, like your leadership experience, your influencers, your
Mm.
leadership styles, and like probably who influenced you the way you are leading right now.
Yeah, so thank you for the nice introduction and nice words. And I have to admit that I don't have a lot of experience in theory with leadership or different leadership models. I'm kind of executive in the business world at Nestle. So
Mm-hmm.
during my 18 years at Nestle, I've led some teams during maybe 16 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only in a few last years that I really dug into more the theory of leadership. And I guess on my leadership style, I was really much influenced by my best bosses, the
Mm-hmm.
best boss that, yeah, who trusted me, who motivated me more than with theory. Yeah. So, and for sure, I was influenced by the culture at Nestle, which is a strong culture and rooted in, I would say, respect of the people, respect of customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, yeah, strong values around respect.
Wow, that's great. And I mean, from the interview and experience I've had doing this for the last probably 9, 10 months, I've always like get to hear like how you get influenced by your leaders or from your experience, of course, in the past, and that's natural, right? I mean, every one of us do learn from the experiences that we have from the leaders that we've worked with. And I really love the part where you mentioned that, from your experience working with Nestle, and even the things that you do today is that you really get to have that respect or trust that you actually also got from your ex bosses, right? And
Yeah.
again, like we are all in a work we are all work in progress, I would say. So that's why it's interesting to know that most of your leadership styles or you being a leader actually came up about just recently, right? Despite of your 22 years of experience working. I mean, like there comes a time where we like realize more things based on our past experiences. And
Yeah.
like some like you've mentioned about working with a big company. I mean, that definitely has like a great influence on how you actually think and see or like experience or think about leadership, right? And
Yeah.
again,
I
you've
have
mentioned
my glasses of my past experiences.
yeah. And I'm glad you've also shared with us about the positive intelligence that made you a better leader today, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that
So
is what's
now
important.
for 1 year, I've trained, and with this company based with Shazad Chamin. It's called
Mhm,
it's pronounced Chamin, and
mhm,
Shazad Chamin. Yeah, and this company which is Positive Intelligence, and
mhm,
it's a really great framework to
mhm,
analyze and to develop myself first,
mhm,
and also to develop corporate leaders that I'm working with.
mhm. Yes, and that's really good because leaders really need help from us. I would say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's okay because again, like I told you, every one of us is a work in progress. And based on this experience and what you've realized recently, being a much better leader, like what you've said, because of you've been working on yourself as well, and using this positive intelligence that we've mentioned in that introduction as well. So, what is leadership for you then?
yeah. For me, leadership is really inspiring people, so employees, but beyond employees, so all the people around me, around
Mm-hmm.
us. So it comes with friends. It comes with all the people we are interacting with,
Mm-hmm.
and so I believe in transmitting positive energy around
Yes,
me,
true.
and so that inspires people around me. The way that I behave, the way that I respect people, that the way I transmit this positive energy, this optimism,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it, it gives really a lot of energy around me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's true. I mean, it's all about the mindset, how we actually deal with people, because at the end of the day, it's also the experience that they got from us. I mean, like you are a leader as you are today because of your experience, the trust, the respect, and the positivity that you've experienced, or even negativity that you have experienced in the past, right? And again, I really appreciate you, defining leadership as really having that ability to inspire people, because at the end of the day, that's all we have to do, right? Inspire them, to influence them, and to motivate them, and the rest is done by them. Right?
Yeah, they know their job. I trust them to do their job, and I just have to give my trust and give the energy.
Right, right. And you've been mentioning about positive, the positive energy, the trust. And obviously, during my introduction, I've made mention a lot about, the struggles in the next normal, like how we can actually, like, continue to, like, help our team, knowing that we're, ensuring that they're performing well, considering that we're, most of us are still working remotely. I mean, like here in Singapore, as where we are, again, we're back to, like, default remote working or work from home as a default, right? And I would say that, that's true to most, countries at this point in time. And having all these changes, I'm sure, like, the trust part, the positivity has been affected as well, right?
Yeah.
And having said that, we've called it new normal, next normal, but in your case, based on your experience, in the current situation, how would you define and describe the next normal?
Yeah, so it's there's been an acceleration towards this next normal. So with the pandemic, with huge disruptions in supply chains, in markets, um, political, also environmental, and so it gets even complicated, always more complicated. So we are in a VUCA world, and it becomes even more a VUCA world, and so
Yes.
always more disruptions and always more instability. So that's the next normal. That's the our new normal and the next one.
Mhm.
That's what I see.
So when you say VUCA, I mean, you've made mention about having, like, VUCA, world, that we're living in a VUCA
Yeah.
world. So, like, what do you foresee, or what do you see, like, and what does it mean, if you can actually elaborate more on that?
Yeah. So for instance, supply chain topics. So I have an experience in supply chains, and so that's a topic which interests me. And so we thought, yeah, well, the pandemic, after the pandemic, so yeah, a lot of people in the developed countries are vaccinated, so
Mm-hmm.
it will go much better. Now that's yeah, there won't be any problem with supply chain, so it will start again, no problem. And so what we see, this the problem that we face in supply chain. So container dispatch at the wrong place, or available at the wrong place, and stuff. So ports who cannot deal with the flow of incoming goods,
Mm-hmm.
it will stay for maybe still 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this
And
instability is fed and fed with other instabilities, and it goes on and on and on.
mhm.
Microchips topics and stuff like that.
And in fact, that reminds me, right? You've mentioned about VUCA world, a lot of disruptions and crisis uncertainties, in your answer, and how you define next normal. And at the same time, in our previous conversation as well, right? So, did I actually flash? Yeah. So yeah, so that actually reminds me of, like, a video I watched from Simon Sinek recently, that he was saying that, um, uncertainty has been there even before the pandemic, right? And it's really like one of the, like, certain and constant thing in this world is uncertainty, right? And again, it's about, like, preparing, for it, like having, savings, insurance, or even, like, that positivity or right mindset that we have to, to carry with us, throughout the way, right? And that would help us really create, or adapt, in this, challenging situation as well. So, I've also wanted to, like, now discuss more towards, like, probably, problems and solutions in terms of, this, conversation. So my next question now is really, like, I mean, you've mentioned about supply chain, just now, because obviously that's your expertise, and that's, your experience working with, a big company, right? A global company. So being able to have experience as a corporate leader, and also now that you've been practicing as a coach, um, what would you say would be the top three problems that leaders do normally face?
Yeah. So the first topic is business.
Mm-hmm.
So in this disrupted world, in this highly volatile world, so business, business, business. So first priority is business. So and it's at the top of their mind, and it's really stressful for them.
Mm-hmm.
So to adapt constantly to supply chain problems, with problems with clients.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really at the top of their mind. So
Yes,
that's
and
the
a lot
first
of
one.
disruptions going on, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's their first problem, and maybe more on the so their second problem on the more human resources side,
Mm-hmm.
and but which has a really a ripple effect across organization. It's
Mm-hmm.
about trust.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now 18 months in the pandemic, so we are still at home, and so yeah, and teams, people, there have been turnover, people have changed, and then there are some teams where maybe half of the people, they haven't seen other one physically ever,
Mm-hmm.
and so the relationship becomes more and more superficial, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not. So yeah, Zoom is great, Team is great, but it's not like taking a coffee with the guy or lady
Exactly.
and chatting about wife, kids, and sharing about something about more personal, and
Mm-hmm.
and so relationships becoming superficial.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem of trust.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not very good. That's not good.
Yes, and I mean, from your definition and your also your introduction in terms of your perspective in leadership, one of the top things that you mentioned is on trust, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's hurts for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the
And
last one, did you get to
yeah,
mention it?
last one maybe is around I guess people engagement. So it
Mm-hmm.
comes back to the second point. So people
Mm-hmm.
engagement. So sure. So the statistics were already bad. So 50% of people in the US maybe say they are not engaged. So they
Mm-hmm.
just show up, just showing up. So that's not good. And 20% say they're actively disengaged.
Wow.
Yeah. So these figures are really poor, but and it's figures about it's from 2020
Mm-hmm.
already. But then, so in we arrive in 2021 now, and I got the feeling it's getting worse. So
Right.
because people are tired, they have given a lot, and yeah, they become the relationship between them and the company become a bit looser. There's a distance created with this pandemic and with this organization between company and employees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
and
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and you've raised really like a lot of like common problems, I would say, and a lot of these would be more towards the people management, or human, I mean, we all work with human beings at the end of the day. And I remembered in our in my previous interview as well, where he mentioned about the great resignation that happened worldwide. And now you're actually sharing with us very good, I mean, like a significant statistics as well in terms of the engagement, employee engagement. And it is even like more, I would say, like more challenging for most organizations, because they are not able to see people like what you've shared, like last time you just can have coffee together with your team members, or you just like what Tony Fernandez said, feast bomb with the team members and all those stuff. And even when you can actually do that things in the past, there's already issues when it comes to trust and employee engagement, right? So how much
yeah,
more now that people are actually working remotely, right? um,
yeah,
so obviously leadership gives or provides a big role in this kind of situations, right? And so what are the important leadership capabilities? I mean, we've identified the problems. Let's not, let's help them also, like somehow
sure, sure.
these
We are here for that.
problems with the next
We are
question,
here for
right?
that.
On like what are actually the important leadership capabilities or skills you must have in the next normal to be able to
Yeah.
continue to lead effectively.
Mm, yeah. So in this volatile world,
Mhm.
with a lot of disruptions, we have to learn fast and adapt fast.
Yes.
So the speed is really a key word.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the leadership, in the learning and development community, we face a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so because we put people in a room or in a Zoom meeting or Teams meeting now, and for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, and then so people are really happy after the workshop. They say, "Wow, that's great! I've learned so much. That's amazing."
Mm-hmm.
And then, so 6 months later, you meet them again and say, "Well, how was it? How is it? What have you learned in the workshop, which was 6 months ago?" And they say, "Oh, I don't remember." So they forgot almost everything. Maybe they got about 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10% of what was said is given or is memorized and is
Mm-hmm.
used. So that's a challenge for us,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. And so the return on investment for that kind of training is
Mm-hmm.
not good. It's not good. So,
Mm-hmm.
and what I love with this positive intelligence framework, it provides a kind of operating system.
Mm-hmm.
You have an operating system, you build your mental fitness, your mental muscle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you use this mental muscle to different applications. So you have the brain, it's a kind of hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the operating system, the muscles, and then the application. So leadership, parenting, conflict management,
Mm-hmm.
um, yes, yeah, all challenges, all kind of challenges can be dealt with the same operating system.
Mm-hmm.
And time and again, you use the same operating system, and then you build your mental fitness,
Mm-hmm.
and you can always be better at managing challenges. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love in this framework of mental fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and you've mentioned about the need for speed or agility, which will be key in a leadership development. And you've mentioned as well about positive intelligence, which is all about building the positive mental muscle. So what will be actually the other capabilities or skills that you would recommend leaders to have in this next normal to lead effectively, and what's actually the role of that in being able to transform and thrive in the next normal?
Yeah. So maybe a bit more about the profile of our leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Our leaders, they have a saboteur which is called the controller. And so the controller is the voice in your mind telling you, "Oh, to get the best outcome, I have to control the situation." So it's people who have a vision, who have high energy, and that's why they are in their position. And but the controller is it's overuses and abuse their strengths, and it's people who like and they have tendency to micromanage. And so these people, they need to develop their empathy and also their curiosity. And so it's not faking empathy or faking curiosity, it's really feeling empathy and feeling curiosity. And so in this mental fitness framework, we have some little exercises and building mental muscles with yeah, small exercises, and really feeling after that this kind of exercise, repeating this mental fitness exercise, you feel empathy. And I can tell you, because I have the controller, and frankly speaking, I had not a lot of empathy before. So 2 years ago, I was not good. That was not good, and but that was normal for me. I said, well, I'm like that. Sorry. It's, if I tell something bluntly, it's for the goods of the people. So and if I think my way is the right one, I will tell it, and it will be that way. And I had not a lot of empathy, but now, so with this work on myself, I could develop my empathy,
Wow,
and
that's really
I'm really grateful for to have that, because it's amazing. It's amazing, but what I can feel with people with empathy.
Yes. And at the end of the day, again, it's the experience that we give to inspire and influence our people, right? Our
Yeah,
team, right? And especially now with the what happened with what pandemic, we don't really know like what's happening. Like not everyone would like to work from home, right? Some would think that, oh, okay, you're working from home. Are you doing something or whatnot? Those kind of questions. But at the same time, do you take into consideration that it's not so easy to work from home when you have like children running around as well, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
this is where empathy and emotional intelligence or humility actually comes in, right? In
yeah,
this kind of conversation, especially in this kind of situations as well, right?
yeah.
um,
Right. It's
and
as you say, it's more and more relevant. So yeah, it was already relevant, but nowadays it's really extremely important.
Exactly, exactly. And I remember like the leadership simulation program that we've attended recently, where we were actually talking about the current situation where we were like, what do we have to do? Like, I mean, it of course depends on the culture of the organizations, or like how you will actually deal with current situations, like when internet connection is bad, when like children are crying on the background and all those stuff, right? So these are like the situations that we were actually doing in the simulation. And it's interesting that of course everyone would have different perspective or different answers to the questions, right? On top of the time limit that we have. But it's a good conversation, because at least you get to learn from each and every one perspective, because everyone is coming from different culture as well. And at the same time, when you collectively have a discussion, you can actually like, why don't we create a standard in terms on how we will respond on this situation in such a way that like what you've said, it's still positive, or part of this is considering empathy, right? And that you're working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I would like to move forward to our Miss Universe question, so you can
Oh
wear your
yeah, Miss Universe. Woo!
to wear your Miss Universe. Yeah. So, um, we've mentioned a lot about learning, leadership, the positive intelligence in our conversation in the last almost 30 minutes. And I just wonder, like, this question is really an open question, and I'd like to understand from you, if you have a magic wand and can use it, what will you do with it? And you can share with us why. Here's my
Yeah.
magic wand for you.
Oh, another one, another one. Okay, but you have the magic one. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and for me, the mental fitness framework is was so powerful for me. It,
Hmm.
it had such a huge impact on my life, the way that I experience life, and I'd like really to train a lot of people, and maybe billions of people. So with
Hmm.
the magic wand, with the help of magic wand, poof, let's say 5 billion people already trained, like just like that. Yeah, so it's yeah, for me, my experience is that the leaders, we have spoken a lot about leaders and leadership, and so leaders need help, and we have spoken about the controller.
Mm-hmm.
So leaders, they have the controller and they need some help to develop their empathy. So it's really needed these days to have to develop their empathy, their curiosity, and they can feel that, and they can, at the end of the day, inspire the employees and beyond employees, so the full society in where we live.
Mm-hmm.
So that
True.
would be my dream. And so
Yes.
maybe if I can have a second wish, and so I had a passion, and I still have a passion for mountains and for environment, and so I would also remove a few billions of tons of CO2 from the atmosphere. So that would be my dream.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I mean, I wish I could give you my magic wand, and this is working.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't go through the internet.
Yeah, but the
That's a
good thing
pity.
is, yeah, but the good thing is actually, like, I mean, now that you're doing positive intelligence and have been really impacting several leaders already by doing so, at least, it's now our target to have like, or to reach at least 5 billion people on mental fitness. And it's like, it's needed yesterday, I would say, right? And a lot of these things happening, whether positive or negative, is like so dependent on our like mindset, on our like subconscious as well. I mean, we've been all hurt in the past, and sometimes we bring it in the future. And even those that past generation pains, I remember, because I came from a forgiveness session this morning,
Mm.
and we've actually discussed about that. And interestingly, like, I don't know if you've heard of the family constellation in neurolinguistic programming. We've actually undergone similar training in the past.
Mm.
And so it's like, because you've mentioned operating systems earlier as well, and that really, like, and now you're wishing for mental fitness, right? And that all is like, about the mindset, our subconscious, and it really helps a lot, I mean, in how we respond and how we actually move things forward. And again, like, one of the silver linings as well that the COVID-19 has brought about into our life is really to reflect on these things, right? And
Yeah.
to have that like greater awareness and reflection on how can we actually care for people, for our planet, since you've mentioned about, removing this carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. In fact, it's humans fault that it happened, right? I mean, and so we can also do something about it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So it's never too late. I mean, today is the
Sure.
day that, we can still do something about the things,
Yeah.
around us, right?
Yeah.
The best day is, today, right
It's
here,
today.
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It's not yesterday, it's today. Today is
Yeah.
the day.
Yes, yes. And that brings me to my last question to you as well. Like, we've during our conversation, we've actually like brought about our experience in the past and reflected on things that you've shared with me, based on your answer. So I'm curious to know, if you were to ask yourself a question that you can best answer, what would it be?
Yeah. So at the beginning I've read your question. I said, what would that be? And for me is, so the question I would ask is, how could I enjoy more my life?
Mm-hmm.
How I could enjoy more my life?
Mm-hmm. And
Because
why did you ask that question? Can
yeah,
and
because
can you share with us like what thought process of you've gone through to actually choose this question?
yeah. So it's been 3 years since my accident, and as you said during the short introduction, so I've lost the usage of my right arm, and so yeah, I can show my, my arm, and so um, I experienced strong pain. And so for 3 years now, so it was a key question for me. So with these pains, with the disability, how can I bring joy in my life? Because life can be joyful, and even now. So yeah, and now I want to experience joy every day, and I do.
That's
and
great.
and for me, it's really key. It's really key to experience joy,
Mm-hmm.
and also to give joy to everybody around me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can experience joy, I can give joy around me.
True.
And that's kind of purpose also. It's close to my heart
Mm-hmm.
to bring joy to my clients, and so first to my family. I'm a bit selfish. And yeah, and then my clients, yeah, to bring them joy.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really beautiful. I mean, we're all created to be joyful, to have that
Yeah,
abundance in our life, right? And
yeah,
again, like what I've been hearing in the past as well, how can you actually give um, from an empty vessel. So it's just nice that you've shared, like, oh, I cannot be selfish. Like, I have to also, like, eventually, like, if I have joy in my life, if I have that, I enjoy my life more, then I can actually give joy to my family and to
yeah,
others
yeah,
as well, to my
yeah,
clients and all. And
yeah,
it's natural. I mean, we have to, like, take care of ourselves first
yeah,
so that we can take care of others as well. So it's not
yeah,
really being selfish, but it's really more of, like, again, like, answering this uh thing where you can't actually give in from an empty vessel, right?
yeah, right. So it's like you're in a flight, in a plane, so bring the
Yes.
oxygen mask first.
Yeah,
Take the
true.
oxygen mask first, and then you take care of the others. But yeah,
Yes,
that's like that.
exactly. And that's how it goes, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So it has been really like a fruitful and, I would say, positive conversation with you. So positive and intelligent conversation with you, and I really appreciate you sharing your story and even showing us your arm. And I mean, like, when something happens to us, it's all about us turning all these challenges into blessings, into opportunities. I mean, without you experiencing the accident that you've mentioned 3 years ago, you would not really think a lot about, like, what's my purpose actually, right?
Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, right.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't. I mean, you've been doing what you enjoy in life, from your education, from your experience. But again, it has actually helped you think of life deeper than usual,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
100%, 100%. Yeah.
yes. So I thank you for sharing that with us, to our audience, and thank you so much again for sharing some time to actually share your experiences and your insights on leadership and transformation. And thank you to all who watch us and who will be watching us on the replay. And yeah, do join us in this journey to fight the pandemic that caused a lot of challenges, and let's all turn it into opportunity through several interventions that we can help you with. And do remember that even the richest investor in this world say that investing in yourself is the best investment that you can ever make in your life. So with that, I thank you again, Julian, and
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, Mylen.
And I would like to leave everyone with this quote from Dolly Parton, that if your action create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you,
Nice. I love
everyone.
that. I love that.
Yes. Bye for now and have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Stay safe, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Julian.
you. Bye bye.